Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have a match preview for Chelsea versus Aston Villa. It is a Carabao Cup kickoff, 7:45 on the Wednesday at Stamford Bridge. Now, I don't have a clue how you watched the game, so go find out somewhere else. Don't ask me. So in Chelsea's last game, we won 3-0, obviously away at Tottenham Hotspur, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Before that, we beat Zenit at home, and the one before that, we played Aston Villa, our matchup for tomorrow. The game did end 3-0, but to be honest, even as a Chelsea fan, I feel like the scoreline flattered us. Lukaku was deadly, Kovacic was on flames, and I feel like 3-0 didn't really kind of balance or reflect the amount of chances created for both sides. I think Aston Villa definitely could have and should have scored one, and Chelsea probably should have not scored three, should have been two. So 2-1 would have been a reflective performance, or a reflective score for the performance. So it doesn't show last time we played them, even with our strongest team probably. We did batter them, but we shouldn't have battered them. Aston Villa's last three games, they're obviously not in the Champions League, so their last three have all been in the Premier League. Last time out, they beat Everton 3-0, which is a very impressive scoreline, especially as Everton have been flying high this season. And before that was the Chelsea game, and before that, they drew 1-1 with Brentford. Now for injuries and suspensions for Chelsea, there are only 2 injuries for the entire squad. And Kante was fit enough to come off the bench against Spurs and dramatically changed the game. However, there was one sort of mishap. Edouard Mendy. Even though he seemed perfectly fine, there were no rumours that he was injured at all. In the press conference, Thomas Tuchel didn't even mention him when he was asked about injuries. All he said was Pulisic probably won't be available and Kante should be back. He didn't mention Edouard Mendy's name, but when it got to the team sheet time, Kepa was starting in goal with Marcus Bettinelli as the second choice keeper on the bench. Edouard Mendy was at the stadium watching on in non-kit clothes. He wasn't kitted up, and he wasn't in the squad, so he couldn't have played anyway. But Edouard Mendy will not be available to face Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday, but Chelsea and Tuchel and the whole squad are trying to get him fit enough for the big Premier League matchup on Saturday against Manchester City. The only other injury for Chelsea is Christian Pulisic, who picked up an ankle injury, it's now been revealed, while on international duty with USA. Tuchel said that it is a little bit of a rush to bring him in for this Carabao Cup game, but Chelsea are trying to get him ready and fit enough for the City game. Not that he will start in that, even if he was fit. So hopefully the one after that, which would be the Champions League game against Juventus, which he may or may not start in anyways, he should be fit enough and recovered from his ankle problem. There are no suspensions I am aware of. And Aston Villa, I'm not going to go into Aston Villa. Now, I don't really watch Aston Villa enough to determine whether they will go out strongly. I don't know if they're going to want to progress through desperately to the Carabao Cup. Will they hold off and put out a half-decent team? Hope they can get something, but if not, then it's not the end of the world. But keep their main players fit enough for the Premier League. I honestly have no clue. Now we're going to progress into my predicted lineup, starting off with the formation. No changes. Why have we even played a back four since Thomas Tuchel took over in January? Wow, he's been there for 8 months now, or 9 months. Crazy. That's gone quick. The 3-4-2-1, or the 3-4-3, however you look at it, you can look at it in so many different ways. The 5-4-3, no, 5-2-3, or it could be the 3. What am I waffling about? I'm going to go with 3 centre-backs, 2 in the pivot, 2 wing-backs, and 2 number 10 supporting 1 centre-forward. I've actually gone with a false 9, and I've probably given away who is going to be playing there already. But in goal, I think Kepa, Arrizabalaga will get a start once again after getting clean sheet against Tottenham Hotspur due to Mendy's injury. He might have even been the cup keeper anyway, so it would not have changed even if Mendy was fit. Marcus Bettinelli could get a run in the team, but I'd be incredibly surprised if that happens. In the defence, we're going to go with a back 3, obviously. At left centre-back, Tony Rudiger. He is pretty much immovable in this team. I think he's one of the most informed centre-halves in the world right now. Shooting from distance, obviously got a goal the other day. So good at defending one-on-ones now. He's rapid. And he's just everything you want as a defender. Thomas Tuchel definitely deserves the praise. What he's been able to do with Tony Rudiger, along with Tony Rudiger himself. They both deserve the praise. In the centre, I've gone with Christensen, even though Thiago Silva had a blinder at the weekend. He is 38 or approaching 38. So we got to remember, we can't play him every week. And I feel like Christensen would do just as good a job in the centre as Thiago Silva would, especially considering it is a Carabao Cup game. There's no need to risk some of our best players in it, even though we do want to win it and it is against solid opposition. When we've got the quality back up, there's not too much point in risking one of our better centre-halves. At right centre-back, I've actually done the same thing. Even though Cesar Azpilicueta played very well and he doesn't deserve to be dropped, I'm going to bring in Trevor Chalobah just for a bit more lease of life, a little bit more energy in the defence. Actually, no, Azpilicueta does not lack energy. But Trevor Chalobah, I'd just like to see him start again. He's done very solid so far. And I can see this happening. Same with Thiago Silva. There's no risk. Well, there's no point risking some of our better defenders, especially if we're only dropping quality by a little tiny bit, because Chalobah is a brilliant centre-half. Same with Christensen. Now we'll move on to the wing-backs. I think, and I believe, and I very much hope that finally I'm going to get left wing-back correct. Every game I go out with Ben Chilwell starting at left wing-back, and every time Thomas Tuchel goes with Marcus Alonso. Now, I can't complain because Alonso has been absolutely spectacular, magnificent recently. And he's really doing a brilliant job at left wing back. But I just want Chilwell. I don't know why, I just prefer Chilwell on the ball. He's done nothing wrong. At least what we've seen, he's done nothing wrong. Maybe he fell out with the gaffer. Maybe he isn't trying as hard in training. But I think, finally, Ben Chilwell will get his first start since the Champions League final, which he had a brilliant performance, by the way. And I think this is the perfect opportunity. Alonso is 31, 32, and he can't be playing every week really up and down that left-hand side. So Chilwell is going in left wing back. Finally, please, Thomas, don't make it difficult. Just play Chilwell. Get him back up to fitness. Get him a full 90 minutes under his belt, and hopefully he can take that into the Premier League. At right wing back, I think we are going to see the return of Reece James. Hudson Odoi. No, why did I say Hudson Odoi there? Azpilicueta started at right wing back against Spurs, with Reece James dropped to the bench. Even though he was available after his suspension, Thomas Tuchel felt like there was no need to put Reece James back into action straight away. And maybe he was trying to be a little bit cautious, a little bit more defensive, as Spurs do have some very good attackers. Maybe he knew that Son was back. Kane is always a threat, apart from at the weekend. I think getting another 90 minutes under Reece James' belt after missing out in 2 games, I think that'll be important, and I think he'll start at right wing back. Now, in the pivot, this is an interesting one. We've got to choose 2 out of 4. Kovacic, Kante, Jorginho, or Saul Niguez. All are fit, all can play in those positions, and you've got to have 2 out of any of those 4. A combination of 2. It could be Kante and Kovacic, Kante and Jorginho, Kante and Saul, Kovacic and Jorginho, Kovacic and Saul, Saul and Jorginho, Kovacic and Saul and whatever. And when I originally put this team together, I went with Jorginho and Kovacic, only because obviously Kante, we don't want to risk him too much. He's quite injury prone at the moment and he's so important, and I don't want him to get injured again. But then I remembered Saul, a Carabao Cup game where there's not too much pressure on him. He could go into this team and hopefully do some business. But then I remembered his debut came against Aston Villa, and he was dragged off after 45 minutes after an incredibly disappointing first 45 minutes for Chelsea. However, nonetheless, I've gone out with Saul and Kovacic, which is different from what I think was Saul and Jorginho starting against Villa. No, it was Saul and Kovacic. Right, well, I've gone with Saul and Kovacic. Probably wrong, but what are you going to do? Now for the front 3. This took quite a lot of deliberating. Mason Mount only played 45 minutes. Ziyech, Hudson Odoi in there. Havertz. Is Lukaku going to play another game in a row against Villa? Is it going to be Werner? I think Werner has to start, so I went with Werner at left forward. In the sort of right number 10, Is it going to be Mount, Ziyech, Hudson, Odoi? I went with Ziyech. And then down the middle, it was between Havertz and Lukaku. Or it could have been Werner down the middle and then Mount on the left, or Hudson, Odoi on the left. I think any of these combinations could happen and occur on Wednesday evening. But I went with Werner on the left, Ziyech on the right, and down the centre, Kai Havertz in a false 9 role, dropping Romelu Lukaku to the bench. Not that he's done anything wrong in a Chelsea shirt so far. I'd just like to see a little bit different. I think Kai Havertz does perform best in the false 9, and bringing in Lukaku to obviously help the team overall. But it's kind of dropped Kai Havertz back to one of the number 10 roles, because I think he really flourished in that false 9 role, especially in the Champions League final when he scored and won us the Champions League. But here's my team on screen. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. As for my predictions, I'm going to go with a 2-0 win to the Chelsea. We don't concede goals. We do score goals. Without Romelu Lukaku, it may be different to the 3-0 win last time, but I'm going with a 2-0 win. Timo Werner and Kai Havertz to score. And I think Sal will make up for his disappointing debut against Villa and come through and win that midfield battle alongside a storming Matteo Kovacic. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it. See you later. That's different. I normally say goodbye.